I was saying that in order for us to understand the kingdom, we need to fully understand the nature and the character of God. Okay? Hi. Okay, sorry, man. I lost connection there. I'm trying to get it back. I started to talk about. What is it? Get this. Get up. Yeah. And turn that. And maybe. Hi, Nashi. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is that way? Is that way better? Is that better? Is that better? I'm struggling to get this thing right here. Okay. It seems like I'm really having difficulty with this internet here. But anyway, hello, my sister-in-law. I was saying, so we need to kind of understand the nature of God as Father. And I said time and time again that God will always remain God to those that do not want to have an experience with Him as Father. He'll be God because the rain rains on the just and the righteous and the unrighteous. And we can continue to journey with Him in that relationship, or we can seek to fully comprehend His purposes as His family and as His sons. And it's this nature that I am really concerned about. I have lots of individuals that are totally upset with the disposition of spiritual fathering only because they don't understand it, and there's such a backlash to why God would pursue the spiritual fathering aspect of bringing His purposes to finality. One of the things that you have to have and is that you need to have spiritual covering, especially if you're a widow and you don't have a husband. And spiritual fathering can only be entrusted to somebody who you love and respect, and is prepared to lay down his life for you. I had some questions about that not too long ago, and people are still fighting it as if it is something that's going to take away their freedom, and they using scriptures like Jesus said you shall have no other uh, God before Him, and the like. And I can answer all of those questions, but I just don't have the time right now to put that into context. So the context of fathering is far more greater than somebody who wants to lord it over you and to control your life and to take your money from you. Okay? Uh, that is such a shallow definition of what people see it as. And I don't blame you, only because that's how it's been done. And there is, however, two fathers in the earth. You can't shake that and you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. If you are truly searching for a spiritual father, then God, in His mercy, will show you the one that loves you unconditionally, will treat you with respect, and will not lie to you when it comes to your spiritual development. Neither is He afraid to put His finger in your face and correct you, because to love is also to bring correction. Now, I've I'm a spiritual father to sons, but I don't lord it over any of them. And I have found a tremendous love relationship between my sons. And it is really um, exciting for me, because what it now defines is my nature. I have been a biological father. I have 4 children, and I understand what it is to be a biological father. But to be a spiritual father is a whole new level. And because it allows me to experience that which he is. He is a spirit, but he's also a father. So by virtue of the fact that Jesus Christ made him a father and elevated his status from God to father, he must see elevated his status from a common from God to father, because as a father you could have a family. As a God he could remain all by himself, but he refused to be like that. Okay? Okay. So sons make God visible. And so in that relationship in Colossians, God formed the Son, and he gave all power and all authority to the Son. Okay, fine. Now, that relationship has to continue to the point where the Son now becomes the fullest expression of his Father, in that the Son knows that his existence is primarily because the Father chooses to live through him. And it's a relationship that is not hierarchical by any standard. It's a relationship that serves the other. The Father serves the Son, and the Son serves the Father. The Father lays down his life for the Son, and the Son is prepared to lay down his life in sacrifice for the Father's will, because they love each other. One emanated from the Son, emanated from the Father, and the Father is who he is because of the Son. So it is a relationship that both want to have, and they don't want to live in isolation. And so they by every standard live harmoniously. They live to serve one another rather than trying to run away from each other. Unlike in the garden, when Adam fell, he sought to run and hide himself. We must never run away from anything that produces the similar walk through which our life was meant to express the nature and the character of God. I spoke about how we were meant to live out our existence as kings. Now, to be a king takes several mental changes. I told you that Christianity and religion will rob you of fully understanding the kingdom. Okay? So we have to shake the notion that we are Christians. We have to shake that notion. We have to come into the fullest expression of what it is to rule as a king. And the first thing you have to establish if you want to understand a kingdom is to understand the origin of power and authority. If you can understand how power and authority is dispensed, then you will understand why and how a kingdom functions. God, when he created Adam, had given Adam all of the authority of the earth. He said, let them dominate the earth. And by so doing, he locked himself out of any matter that had to do with the earth and its management. He had all of the power, but Adam had the authority. And during the years of Adam's reign on the earth, nobody really knows how long Adam and Eve were on the earth, except just prior to the fall, or even the existence of the earth before God had formed it out of its formlessness. Okay, but we generally understand the earth to have being about 6,000 years old. Okay, now in our understanding of the kingdom, we have eradicated the fact that it is not a religion. Okay, but we read in the Old Testament that the God of the Old Testament came through a religious disposition. He came through what is now known as Judaism, setting up a temple of worship, sacrifices, blood shedding, and the like. Now, that clearly is a religion. Okay, we have to know that, and we who have had access to this religious path began like that. But I'm saying it's time to grow now and to move into something that is far greater. And that greater is the kingdom. Okay? Okay. Now, so I stopped talking about how we were meant to get off this religious island and how we were meant to move into a place called righteous rule and the kings of the earth. Okay. I said religion will prevent you from seeing the kingdom. Nicodemus could not see the kingdom unless he was born again. Born again is not a religious transaction. Born again is what is required of you to see the kingdom. Jesus never came to give us a kingdom. Jesus never said, if you receive me, you will have heaven. Jesus came to give us something far greater. He came to connect us, and I said this last time, to the family of God. This family was reduced to 3 families. After the flood, Noah and his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, were left on the earth. There was nobody else on the earth. This family, Noah, which is called the